Beware of room 311. At the Reed House in Chattanooga, Tennessee, its history is shrouded in mystery, murder, and paranormal activity. This is Avery After Dark, and I'm your host, Avery Ross. Welcome back to the show. I'm so glad you tuned in for today's episode. Today, we're getting very spooky. Thanks so much for subscribing to this channel. Leave a like and a comment, and turn on post notifications. I upload new videos every week, and I don't want you to ever miss out. Now, without further ado, let's get into today's ghost story, shall we? The Reed House Hotel in Chattanooga, Tennessee opened in 1872, and it is a Southern icon. It's the longest continuously operating hotel in the Southeast. This hotel has withstood floods, the Civil War, epidemics, major history, and yes, this place is really haunted. It has 241 rooms and is known for its 1920s style charm. When you walk inside, it is the Roaring Twenties. And it seems one of the guests from that time period never left. In particular, there's something very strange and very chilling about room 311. It's known as Annalisa Netherly's room. Her ghost is said to haunt it after what happened to her inside. Now, what actually transpired in room 311 is up for debate. There are two different accounts, both ultimately ending in the same way. One story says that Annalisa was a guest at the hotel. She checked in there with a boyfriend, a lover of sorts, in 1927, but took a fancy to another gentleman while at the hotel. This version says that shortly after, she was found nearly beheaded, murdered by her jealous lover, in the bathtub of room 311. A very gruesome discovery for hotel employees who found her the next morning. There's something about a beheading that feels so middle-agey. Gives me the creeps. The second story is similar but different. It says that Annalisa and her lover actually lived at the hotel in the late 1920s. But one day, when he decided to take up with a few other women, Annalisa died at the hotel of a broken heart in room 311. So either she was heartbroken over a lover, or a lover was jealous of her with another lover. Either way, there were lovers, and something horrific was thought to happen to Annalisa inside room 311. So much so that she apparently never left. In the years since her death, a number of guests have reported strange activity in the room, including hearing noises, lights will flicker, water will turn on its own, guests will see shadowy figures, cold spots, the feeling of being watched. And hauntingly, many guests say they've been woken up in the middle of the night to the feeling of someone touching them. But one of the most common complaints in this room is that guests feel like they cannot fall asleep. This goes beyond the usual uncomfort of not being in your own bed, an unfamiliar place. Guests will say they will lay in bed for hours in room 311 and cannot fall asleep. Like the energy of the room is restless, keeping them awake. Guests who stay in room 311 believe they have felt the presence of Annalisa, some even saying they have seen her. It's said that her ghost possesses a particular disdain for men. Her spirit especially doesn't seem to like men who smoke. One guest had an especially haunting experience. In the middle of the night, he said he woke up to the sound of something or someone gurgling in the bathroom. Gurgling? That would be really scary to wake up to. At first, he thought it was the toilet making a strange noise, but then he realized he was in the room alone. No one had used the toilet or flushed it. Given the history of what happened in the bathroom, he believed it was the spirit of Annalisa. Recently, during a hotel renovation, room 311 was restored to its original 1920 state, straight from Annalisa's time. When you walk through that doorway, you are transported 100 years back. This renovation includes all 1920s decor, a vintage clawfoot tub, an AM radio. Also, the manual lock on the door requires the use of a physical key, just like hotel guests would have had to use in 1927. One especially chilling account comes from a couple named Sheba and Trip Gorman, who stayed the night in room 311. The couple drove in from Atlanta and went in as non-believers. They didn't think much of the paranormal. Ghosts weren't real to them. They just thought it would be funny to book a stay in the supposed haunted room at the hotel. And they were the first guests to stay in the room after it was restored to its 1920s glory. They were just going for a good time, a laugh, a chuckle. But by the end of their stay, they weren't laughing. Sheba said as soon as they checked in and got into room 311, upon their first few minutes inside the room, She noticed it felt sad, a heaviness that is quite common in haunted places, that powerful energetic feeling. Not long into their stay, she said she started to notice things moving out of the corner of her eye. She questioned what she was seeing, but it wasn't until they turned the lights off for the evening that things got real. They said it was a sleepless night. They began to hear strange sounds, voices, the sound of scratching, and like so many other guests, they felt touched in the middle of the night. Sheba saying she felt like someone was pulling at her wrist and arm. And in the middle of the night, in the pitch black room, the couple said they felt someone or something push, shove up against their bed. And get this, Tripp also said at one point during their stay, the couple left the room. And when they returned 10 minutes later, all the drawers in their room were pulled out, all wide open. Tripp turned to Sheba and asked her, "Wait, are you messing with me?" And Sheba turned to look at him like, "No, I thought you were messing with me." The two were thoroughly spooked, and like I said at checkout, they weren't laughing. And after their stay in room 311, they were believers in the paranormal. And it gets crazier. Another notable guest of room 311 is the famous gangster Al Capone. It's said that he stayed in the room during his federal trial. Story goes, although Al Capone never said he had a run-in with Annalisa, security bars were placed on the window of room 311 to ensure that Capone could not escape the feds. Al Capone in haunted room 311? Small world, isn't it? For many, they say the hotel itself seems like a gateway to the other side. Many have claimed to have seen ghostly soldiers roaming around the halls of the hotel's 4th floor. Many believe that these figures are residual energy left over from the soldiers who spent their final moments at the hotel when it operated as a Civil War hospital. So safe to say, when you check in here, there's no telling who you may run into. But I gotta know, do you think you could last a night in haunted room 311? This hotel is on the top of my must-visit list because people say this hotel is awesome. I've just been waiting for a time that I'm in the Chattanooga area. But I definitely want to check out room 311. I'm not sure about the whole being woken up in the middle of the night thing. I like my sleep. Or waking up to the sound of gurgling in the bathroom. But I would like a tour of the room. Be sure to let me know what haunted spots you want to see next. I can't wait for next episode. I've got so much more coming your way. Until then, I'm Avery Ross, and this is Avery After Dark.